Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video review. And for this review, we're going to be taking a look at the game Tunic, if I'm saying the name correctly, on the Xbox Series X and S. This is based on my time on playing it on the Series S, though. It is worth pointing out this game is available on Game Pass, though. And I also do want to point out the game's also available on the Xbox One, PC via Steam, or whatever storefront you use if you game on PC, and Mac OS, though. And if you're interested in any gameplay footage, I'll have a link down in the description down below, or you can click on the card that will appear up on this video, though. Every once in a while, though, there's usually an indie game that will come out that certainly will grab a lot of people's attention, though. Not that indie games don't grab people's attention, it's just that sometimes they will do that, though. We've seen cases like games, whether it's like Dead Cell is a good example of a game grabbing people's attention. Stardew Valley is certainly certainly is known to grab people's attention, though. And now the game Tunic has certainly did this, though. This was a game that was announced a couple years ago, and that was coming to the Xbox Series X and S, to be exact, though. At the time, I did not know what to make of the game, though, and I never really tried the demo out on that game, though. But apparently this week, though, Microsoft silently, or the developers silently released the game, and surprisingly it became day one available on Xbox Game Pass. And so I decided to give the game a go and try it out. And honestly, I would say for an indie game, though, this is really good, and I'm actually very impressed with what the developers did with this type of game, though. I mean, yeah, there are some little hiccups here and there, though, but my time with the game has been very pleased with it, though, and it certainly definitely gives off a little bit of that old school Zelda vibe to it to a certain degree, though. So why don't we get started with our pros and cons, and we'll start off first with the pros. And the first one has to do with the gameplay, though. The gameplay in Tunic, though, plays very similar to the old school Zelda 2D Zelda games, though, if you may remember back in the day, like the original Legend of Zelda or Link's Awakening. And to some degree, though, the gameplay in Tunic kind of reminds me a little bit of the gameplay in the Nintendo Switch remake of Link's Awakening to a certain degree, though. I mean, you have somewhat of a top-down view, although the camera's in a different angle, to be exact, though. Like most of it, though, some areas cannot be accessed until you basically get the right weapon and all, or defeat a certain enemy to get a key to unlock defining a certain item, to be exact, though. There's also potions, where if you collect 3 of the pieces of potions, you get another potion which can be used to heal up your energy, your energy and all. So the game definitely follows very closely to like the classic 2D Zelda type games, but it also adds a bit of a twist, as it adds a little bit of the Souls-like mechanic, ranging from your stamina meter, where you have to keep an eye on it, especially when you're using your shield or using like certain moves like a roll attack and all, to basically, if you die, you lose certain currencies and all that, which basically means you have to go get it back, much similar to how how Souls-like games or the recent release Elder Rings kind of plays. So there is a little bit of the Souls-like mechanic, though, but from a gameplay perspective, though, it's really fun, and I like how they mix the old school 2Ds with a little bit of that Souls-like mechanic to a certain degree, though. The next thing I do want to talk about is the visuals, and for an indie game, this looks very, very impressive, to be exact, though. I love the art style to the game, to be exact, though. It looks really neat in a certain way, though. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the PS3 release to some degree, that game 3D Hero, like years ago, which had a unique art style to it, and this game is no exception to it, though. I mean, sure, it doesn't have the kind of graphical bells and whistles you would see in a AAA type of a game and all that stuff, but sometimes a game could get away with not having that graphical bells and whistles and have a very good art style to it, though. Nintendo has proven that over the years with some of their games, to be exact, and Tunic is definitely another example of showing how sometimes you don't need the most fancy graphical bells and whistles. An art style can more than make up to it, though, and Tunic definitely has that art style, though. And the last and final pro I do want to talk about is the music. And This to me is the big highlight though. I love the music in Tunic though. I love the style they added to it, to basically ranging from going to the different areas to just the general world in general though. It just sounds really, really good. There are certain games out there where the music is just memorable on so many levels, and I feel like Tunic is probably going to be one of those games, to be exact, that some people will remember it for a lot of things though, but music will be one of those areas. And I think the music is definitely, in my view though, to be exact, the big highlight for Tunic and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back we'll get to part 2, which is the con. So we'll take a little break and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my video review of Tunic, if I'm saying the name correctly though, or Tonic, I think Tunic to be exact, for the Xbox Series X and S though. And again, this is based off my time playing off this Series S. So now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And there's really only 2 cons I could think of based on my time with Tunic though. The first one has to do with the camera angle though. Now, unlike say the traditional 2D Zelda games, which outside of Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, most of it was a top-down view though, Tunic is kind of like that to a certain degree. In fact, the best example I could give with where the camera angle is set up in Tunic would be, it's kind of similar to say the Diablo games to a certain degree. Again, that doesn't make it bad or anything like that, but it does make it awkward at times in terms of trying to move around to know if your character is going into the right room or into the right place, and it can somewhat be a little difficult at times in terms of fighting enemies, although you do have the option of a lock-on, so that at least helps to some degree, to be exact. So yeah, the camera angle can sometimes make the gameplay awkward at times. Does it make it unplayable? No, I didn't find it to make it in any way unplayable at all, but there are times that it can get a little bit awkward at certain moments in the game though. And finally, last but not least, and again, this really comes down to your preference and taste, and that is the Souls-like mechanic though. As I mentioned in the pros though, I talked about how the game used basically is a mixture of the 2D like Zelda gameplay with a bit of the Souls-like mechanic though. Now, I don't have a huge issue with this or anything like that though, but I can understand how this could be an issue for some folks out there though. There are those who are not really down with the whole idea of the Souls-like games or those kind of approach those, and sometimes those games might turn some folks off, to be exact though. As far as my time with the game though, I mean, while I did find the game to be challenging though, or difficult, I never felt like it was on the exact same level as the Souls-like games. There are some similarities, but I didn't find it to be nearly as difficult as say a Souls game normally would be though. And I can understand how something like this could turn some folks off though. Does it bother me at all? No, I'm not really bothered with them using the Souls-like mechanics in Tunic though, but like I said, I understand how this can be an issue for some folks out there though. Overall, I like Tunic though. I think it's a really good game, and I'm glad that this game became day one on Game Pass, to be exact though. At its best though, the gameplay is sort of a mixture of a Souls-like game with like that old school 2D Zelda feel to it though. The visual of the game looks really nice though. As I said, art style can normally make up for any kind of lack of graphical bells and whistles, and the music is really, really good. To me, it's like the highlight of the game, and I still think it is though. At its worst though, is the camera angle can be awkward at times, and it may make certain things like going into certain rooms or fighting certain enemies kind of difficult though, but like I said, there is a lock-on, so that at least somewhat helps though. And the fact that the game uses a Souls-like mechanic though might turn some folks off though. Some people may not be bothered by this at all, but there are those who are not really a fan of the whole Souls-like approach, and that might, like I said, that might not sit well with a lot of folks. But putting that aside though, I definitely enjoyed Tunic though. It is definitely a fun game though, and I am very impressed of how this indie developer were able to make this game and all though, and it's a really neat idea, and it shows that sometimes indie games can be better than those like AAA type of games that we see out there though. Sometimes though, not all the times, but there are times when there are indie games that do blow people out of the water, to be exact. I also think it was really great that they put this on Game Pass, as it gives consumers an opportunity to try it out to determine whether this is the type of game that clicks with them or not though. But I would say if you have Game Pass, it's worth picking up, though. As for whether it will appear on other systems or not, it remains to be seen at this time, as of where it stands right now. Tunic is a timed exclusive on Xbox Game Pass, though, so it's unclear if it will make its way to the PS4, PS5, or the Nintendo Switch for that matter. Personally, I would like to see this come to the Nintendo Switch. I think it would be a great fit for that game if they could get the game running properly on the Nintendo Switch. So I think it would be really nice to see it though. Once that time exclusive comes up though, maybe we'll see it on other systems though. But in the meantime though, if you're interested in a 2D like Zelda game on your Xbox Series S or X though, then give Tunic a try though. And the fact that it's on Game Pass more than makes it worth at least trying out and determine whether or not it's worth the money or not. And as always, if you try it on Game Pass and you like what you play and you consider buying it though, hey, at least you're getting a discount of it, which is certainly not a bad thing. But either way, I definitely recommend Tunic though. It is a fun game indeed. Okay, this concludes my video review of Tunic on the Xbox Series X and S, mostly being played in Series S though. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts of Tunic though? Have you tried the game out though? Have you tried it out on Game Pass, or have you picked it up on the PC or the Mac to be exact though? Do you like the gameplay, the mixture between the 2D Zelda and the Souls-like mechanics in any way? Do you feel like this game would be a perfect fit for something like the PS4 or the PS5 or the Nintendo Switch? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion though? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal, me, or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, so you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!